Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's been taken away. And even though it wasn't taken away from me, I have not been driving, had not been driving for quite some time. I obviously had a below the knee right amputation. So, how am I putting a non foot, non leg onto the gas pedal and the brake? So, what I did is preemptively, before the Ministry of Transport forced me to, because I assumed they would, is I did a functional assessment, which was basically cognitive skills, check, passed. Vision skills, yep, I can see. Really mobility on looking at head, trunk rotation, the ability for me to ambulate to get in and out of the vehicle. Check, check, check. We're good with that. And then it was a 45-minute driver's test. And actually, there were some really, really great tips. So the tips were, for me, certainly moving the steering wheel column up a little bit, changing my seat position, but initiating the acceleration and the brake from my hip and my knee. And I have to really have that situational awareness of where the foot is, because there, well, isn't a foot. I have a prosthetic there. And so the instructor actually gave me a couple of great tips, and I think these are valuable anyways to anybody. One tip was, before you start to put your car in gear, so it's in neutral, just rev the gas a little bit to about 150 RPM, 1,500 RPMs, and then brake. And get used to where the pedal and the brake are in the vehicle, because each vehicle is different. I have a Mini, my hubby has an Audi. The vehicle that I was tested in, that was a Ford. So they all have different positions, and there's just that little memory. But I thought, what a great idea anyways. And I think of how many rental cars I do, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? That's just a really good practice. So that was one thing I think that was the most valuable. The other thing that the instructor had me do was take me on a street where there's no vehicles, and she had me, basically driving and then slam the brake on. So that was to mimic, a dog or a child or whatever you need to avoid. And there was a reaction time. And then she also had me hold my foot on the brake so that I could learn and see where my foot was. Was it on the edge of it, or was it on the middle of the brake pad? And to accommodate accordingly. So there was some really good tips there, and I'm pleased to say that I passed my functional assessment and I passed my driver's test. So, woohoo, watch out, world. I'm just kidding. I'm a good driver anyways, and having over 40 years of experience was certainly helpful, and it was very interesting to be in a snowstorm while I was doing this driver's test. That's beside the point. Anyways, again, it's one of those little freedoms that you gain, and it's just so exciting, and it's discovering it all over again and doing something in such a new way. So thought I'd share. It's kind of cool. There are some interesting adaptive things that people can do with having a left side foot brake, changing up where the acceleration pedal is. There's another one where you can use hand paddles, but those were going to be more restrictive for me because I travel a lot and I rent cars. Anyways, exciting day. Thought I'd share. Just did a 2-hour drive on highway, on back roads, in busy streets, rush hour, and it felt great. And I can say I was a lot better than a lot of the other drivers on the road.